But still, there are many challenges for the Mississaugans, as you have already mentioned, that auto theft. But that's not only for Mississauga; that's countrywide. Most of the items are provincially or federally controlled. So how would you control the grocery? How would you control the other necessities?
Containers, shipping containers that are leaving our ports, especially the port of Montreal, 3% are actually getting examined of those containers. City of Mississauga, we do roads very well. We do them economically, and so for us, I thought that made a lot of sense. For Caledon, Brampton, it's a little bit of a different story. I think that.
This is Political Pulse, and you're listening Harjinder 𝐒𝐿 show. Mr. Stephen Dasko is with us. Mr. Stephen, welcome to Harjinder 𝐒𝐿 show.
Sat Sri Akal.
You learned it quickly. How are you? So I think we should say that one more time. So Stephen Dasko, Sat Sri Akal.
Sat Sri Akal.
Yeah, that's great. So you have learned the first three words when we say welcome or hello. Sat Sri Akal is hello. Welcome is 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿. So I won't get there. So just 𝐿𝐿𝐿. You already say. You already
yes.
there. You're already there. Okay.
I thirst for knowledge, and so I thank you very much.
So welcome is 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿. 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿. So that's welcome.
𝐿𝐿𝐿.
Perfect. That's good. Okay. So Stephen, you must have many Punjabi voters and supporters in your campaign. Especially when we talk about Malton area, so we have big audience and big listenership, and especially in terms of political discussions, our Punjabis are always curious to know, and they are always curious to get involved in politics.
Well, the Punjabi community in Mississauga is truly, it's an incredible community, a vibrant community, and quite frankly, it is. We've got an incredible tapestry of multiculturalism in our city. That's really what I believe defines us in a significant way.
Right.
And Punjabis, I mean, how could you have a fabric of Mississauga without the Punjabi community?
Exactly.
I find it's rich, but at the same time, from music to fashion and of course food.
Right. You are there. So you have already picked all the three best things.
Absolutely.
So three best things: music, food, and fashion.
Yes.
So everything is covered in that. So friends, Mr. Stephen Dasko, he is already a present councillor from Ward 1 in Mississauga, and he was elected in 2018 first time, and then in 22. So can we just know more about your political and personal life?
I lived my whole life in Mississauga. Okay. I love the city to its very core. As we've grown, and I've seen a lot of change, I think a lot of us have seen a lot of change, but as we've grown and seen that change, what we've gravitated to, and I think it's a place, no matter where you come from in the world, once you come to Mississauga, you get connected with communities, you get connected with just things that are going on around the city, and the overall, I think the overall kind of culture of the city, if you will, is welcoming, and and everybody feels like they're home. Right. And so I ran in 2018. I've been involved in our communities right across the city with certain groups like Community Living Mississauga, which does so much for many people that have intellectual disabilities, for example, and some other areas, especially when it comes to art. And when I ran, I was very fortunate to get elected. And then in 2022, I was reelected with over 70% of the popular vote. And I like helping people. I work very hard for everyone. And now I see that there's an incredible time in our city's history where we need some good, solid leadership, somebody that cares, somebody that has open ears and an open mind, and also that really wants to help make Mississauga an incredible world-class city.
Right. So what brought you to contest this election? Why do you think, what do you want to do differently, whatever you were not able to do as a councillor, and now you want to do that as a mayor?
What I've been able to do as a city councillor, and I represent the southeastern end of Mississauga, probably better known as Port Credit, Lakeview, the areas down by the waterfront that many people really enjoy throughout the summer months, going for a walk or having an ice cream with their families, or going and enjoying themselves all through there with some festivals. And also we've got a lot of different things going on down in the community. Right. And so what I want to do is take what we've created down in the Port Credit, Lakeview, the waterfront area, and do it around the city, And I think that this is an optimal time that we do things that are going to make our city world-class, exceptional, and it is really going to include every single person that's here in the city of Mississauga, plus it's going to welcome new people in. Right. And as we grow, we want to make sure everybody's got a home here, but this is an opportunity that I believe we've got some issues to deal with, no doubt. Okay. One of them is you shouldn't have to look out your window before you go to bed at night and say, is my car still in the driveway? Okay. Crime is an issue, and I'm very well aware of that. I've already participated in an auto theft summit. As a city councillor, I'm sitting at the table along with Mayor Patrick Brown from Brampton, as well as having some other leaders, Chief Nish from our Peel Regional Police, Halton, etc. But what we need is somebody that's going to be the mayor, that's going to drive that home, that's going to show strength, show leadership, and be able to work with the provincial and federal governments to make sure that we get some real change put into place.
So what was your experience under Bonnie Crombie's leadership?
Yeah, with Bonnie Crombie, I will tell you, I had a very good working relationship with her. She actually is also one of my residents. So the ward that I represent, she does live in my ward as well. And I've gotten to know Bonnie quite well. And she was great, I have over 40% of all the development going on for the entire city down in my ward. Right. It's a very, very busy place right now. And I will tell you that as we grow, it's managing the growth. It's coming up with excellence. It's coming up with what you feel you want to see in the future in our communities. And so whenever I had to pick up the phone to call Bonnie to either get her support or let her know about an idea that I had, whether if I was bringing chess tables to a lot of our waterfront parks, or I'm really passionate about building out 145 acres of new waterfront parkland, which is unprecedented along our waterfront right now. She was always very enthusiastically in favor of helping, and she saw the value in city building. And for me, there's two big parts of city building. One, of course, is our waterfront. There's not many places around the globe that you look at cities that are close to a large body of water, that's not what defines them, and also exceptional downtowns. Right. And right now we have an okay downtown. I want an excellent, great, world-class downtown, and this is what I believe is our opportunity right now.
Actually, Stephen, Mississauga is already counted as one of the fastest growing city in Canada, or especially I would say not in Canada, worldwide. Mississauga is considered as one of the fastly growing city. But still there are many challenges for the Mississaugans, as you have already mentioned, that auto theft, but that's not only for Mississauga, that's countrywide issues. So,
sadly, yes.
So there are some issues, those are federal or provincial responsibilities. But especially when we see, or when we want to talk, or when we want to get your involvement, what do you think? What would you do differently, especially for the Mississaugan? And I was reading your agenda, and you're focusing on affordability most of the time. For
affordability is significant, but we look at crime, and that has to be done with all three levels of government. Okay. When you're looking at shipping containers that are leaving our ports, especially the Port of Montreal, 3% are actually getting examined. of
Right.
those containers, and the rest are not. So if you're a thief right now, you're thinking to yourself, well, geez, you have a 97% chance of getting away scot-free once you put a car in a container, and that shouldn't be the case. So that's something that we can work on with our federal government and also with the
Okay.
port authorities, et cetera. But then also, when you talk about affordability,
Yeah.
you shouldn't also have to look to say, okay, well, I'm gonna have my family grow up in a 500 square foot condominium because that's all we can afford. I think
Right.
we have to do better than that.
So affordability is just in terms of housing only, or
Well,
because there
housing-
are many other elements.
Absolutely. Housing would be one. That's one. We're seeing a housing crisis right now. I think, quite frankly, there's a problem with getting housing built. We have 80,000 approved units that need to be built, so that's one that we need to work on with other levels of government as well. Getting shovels in the ground of all types for families, for people that are, for seniors that also want to be budget conscious as well, because a lot of our seniors are on fixed incomes. Look at that. But also, when you're looking at all the services that you have in the community and our property taxes, I was only one of 2 councillors at the regional level that voted against the regional budget,
Right.
because I thought we could do better.
Right.
They were looking to come after each one of our residents right across the region for an increase of 4.5%. And for me, I asked for some cost savings. They said we can't find them, and I said, you can't find them. It's because you don't want to find them. I can't support that budget.
Right.
One small finding that I came up with was over $400,000. And that was just with some IT upgrades. At the time, was supposed to be our last year of having the Peel region exist, and then we were all going to go our separate ways.
Right.
Mississauga, Brampton, 𝐿𝐴LLIN, and some of those programs that they brought in that they were looking to upgrade were pretty new programs.
Okay. So Stephen, it's again something similar, because in terms of affordability, most of the items are provincially or federally controlled. So how would you control the grocery? How would you control the other necessary items? How would you control their prices? Because that's not only for Mississaugas. That's not for
Well, you're
Mississauga
100%
only.
right. Yeah, Harjinder.
So then what's your control on that directly?
The control there is having somebody that is going to go and be the voice of Mississauga. You're going to go forward, you go and you speak to Weston's, for example, Empire Foods, for example. You speak with those folks, and at the same time, there are committees that are going on with the federal government, and you ask for a seat at the table there as well. I think as you all come together, you have a stronger voice, a louder voice,
Right.
And that's where change gets put into place, because on our own, as you mentioned, Mississauga is not going to be able to do it on our own,
Yes.
Nor is any other municipality. But if we band together and we work on solutions together, this is where I think we can end up making some real change. But inflation is real. Whether we like it or not, we have to accept that. But at the same time, gouging in any one of its forms right now, it just adds on to the problem. And quite frankly, we deserve better.
So what are your thoughts on Peel region? Because there were different announcements in the past, and we were listening that Mississauga, Brampton, and 𝐿𝐴LLIN will be a separate cities,
Sure.
and now it's something different. And Peel region is still there, and Mr. Doug Ford made some changes, and somebody, let's say if when you are from Mississauga, so you will be favoring to separate as a Mississauga only, not a part of Peel region. So what do you think? That's your same situation for you, or you are thinking differently? Do you think the Peel region should be considered as a one region, or it should be separate?
Yeah. I'll start off by saying I'm a little bit of a musician. I play drums.
Okay.
And so I'll tell you, when I was growing up, I would play drums in bands, and sometimes the musicians, they were good, sometimes not so good.
Right.
Some could keep time, some could not keep time. So I would adapt.
Okay.
And what I'm saying is, when you look at the data for Mississauga, it showed that Mississauga, standing on our own, we're large enough. We're the third largest, we're the third largest city in the province, second largest economy in Ontario as well in the province. We can stand on our own, but the choice was made provincially, and so that choice is made. I accept that. But what I did ask, I sent a letter to the minister as well, and I asked the minister, when I had heard some rumors that they were not going to proceed with dissolving Peel Region, I asked for a few things. I asked that if we could have roads downloaded, because for us at the City of Mississauga, we do roads very well. We do them economically. And so for us, I thought that made a lot of sense. For Caledon, Brampton, it's a little bit of a different story. I think that that's something that they would have to work on with the province. But as a City of Mississauga taxpayer, that makes sense. And also having our water, wastewater, possibly take a different form. Quite frankly, we do, as a Peel region, we do water, wastewater very, very well. I think it makes a ton of sense that that those entities keep servicing Mississauga, Brampton, Caledon, York region, and the capacity keeps growing, and that's fantastic. But at the same time, we want to find ways that we can save our residents some money, and make sure that we deliver great service, and but make sure that we're watching every single dollar that gets spent there as well.
So in terms of businesses, and Mississauga is specially considered as a big city, not only for the residents but also for the businesses, because it's a kind of being a Bramptonian. I have noticed and heard that many times. Sometimes when you are in a business, people prefer to get Mississauga's address for their business instead of Brampton.
Yep. Well, I have heard that, and I will also say that Mississauga, as I was mentioning, it's the second largest employer. We have a few significant benefits going on in the city of Mississauga, which I think lends us to why we've done that. Our zoning has allowed for that, and I think that's significant. But at the same time, the accessibility that we have to the airport. We quite often know it as Toronto's Pearson Airport. I like to call it Mississauga's Pearson Airport. And so we have that, but we also have 400 series highways. We have a workforce that's accessible as well, and also being neighbors with Brampton, it's been great because you're able to go back and forth with workforce as well to get those people that you need to be able of all different skill sets, and so you're tapping into a larger tapestry of what you really need, and you get that from Toronto, from Brampton, from Oakville, Burlington, etc. But really, what we've got is the ability to grow a great economy, and not only that, grow forward-thinking economy ideas, sciences, biotech, IT. Like, these are ones that we've got a lot of those ingredients. We just need to keep building on that. And we also have something called Wireless Mississauga, our very own network that we've built out as well. And it's robust, it's significant, and it's something that we need to keep building on as well. And I've got two significant new communities coming in, both on the waterfront right now. One's called Brightwater. That is all going to be very, very robust with fiber network, etc. And same thing with Lakeview that's going in right now. Those are going to be significant areas. Lakeview especially is going to be the home to 9,000 new jobs in an innovation corridor, and that makes us with a great competitive advantage, and literally right around the corner from our largest airport.
So you were in technology sector before you joined politics.
Yes.
So how would you get that experience to your let's say if you are mayor of Mississauga, so what do you think, what would be there as an experience from that sector?
First and foremost, I understand that when you're in the private sector, you are out there to try to make a living. You're trying to put food on the table, roof over your head, and you're looking to employ people, and it's not easy. And I know that firsthand. And the company that I joined on to run. It was a company that was in some need of help,
Right.
and I came in and I helped turn the company around. And it's one that we kept our employees. We added on a few other employees as well, and so I understand what it takes to make payroll at the end of the month. I understand how we are in terms of what value looks like, and also where trends tend to be going. Because if you're not sharp, you get left behind. And so I'm very well aware of that, and I'm also aware that governments don't need to run private companies, but they need to be able to lend a hand and provide that support whenever it's asked for.
All right. So if you have to choose 2 or 3 major challenges that you think you will be working on a priority basis once you are mayor, so what are those 3 challenges?
I'm a big believer that we have, cities have official plans, local area plans, and that covers all different parts of building a city. And so my fear is sometimes we don't have the infrastructure that will support it.
Mm-hmm.
That's certainly one that I always look at. Will we have the investment to help drive us there?
Okay.
But my other one is to change some of the thinking of if we've got Fortune 500 companies, which I really want to help bring in more of into the city of Mississauga, if they want us coming to locate here, we should not have roadblocks in their way if they're looking to set up. It's you say, yes, we'd love to have you here, and then we collectively figure out how we make it happen. I want to make sure that we have results, and that it's not. We always hear about red tape. We always hear about things getting caught up. I think Mississauga runs a pretty tight ship, but we can always do a little better. But quite frankly, it's how we have a friendlier face when it comes to your point of contact. If you want to come, you want to set up your business here, you should know exactly how to do it. I always ask our staff, whatever we're going to do, let's do it on one page.
Okay.
Everybody should know how to do something in one page. For example, during the pandemic, a lot of the restaurants were getting shut down. They could do takeout only. An option was to do outdoor dining, but it wasn't set up that way. So I put through a temporary bylaw so that we could do outdoor dining all the way around the year. And so it was 365 days. If you could operate it in the middle of winter, then you know what? You should have the option to do that. And that's what we had set up. I now have it. It's going to end up being a permanent situation where right across the city, whether it's a parking lot, it's a patch of grass out front of a restaurant, it's a patio that you want to set up, all of that is going to be readily available. I think it adds to the vibrancy and the energy of the city, but at the same time, it shows that if we want to make some differences, all we have to do is put our heads together, show some will, and just get it done.
Right. So when we talk about the voting percentage, it's a big concern, especially for all level of governments. People don't come out and they don't vote.
No.
So how would you make sure that you are reaching maximum voters? And how would you encourage them so that they can exercise their right of vote?
Well, what we're finding now is a lot of momentum coming towards my campaign, and it's because I talk about a few things I think that really resonate with people. Common sense approach to things, being very financially responsible when it comes to people's taxpayer dollars, having places for people to live that fits all of everybody's lifestyles, having employment that is going to be good for everyone, and also having definitions of what we are as a city, for culture, for our food, for everything that we have in Mississauga to put us on the global map right now, with a great waterfront, great downtown. And I believe that once you keep telling that story out there, it's infectious. People want to come out. They want to support you. I've got that right now. So that alone, I will tell you, Harjinder, is going to be an increase in voter turnout right now, because you can tell that there's a definite appetite out there that we want to get around Mississauga, and we want to make sure that we've got great leadership ahead, and that's what I'm offering, and that's why I think we're going to have better voter turnout than last time.
So friends, this is Harjinder Gill show and Mr. Stephen Dasko. He's running to be the next mayor of Mississauga. He's with us. Stephen, how do you see and what are your proposals for the gridlock, especially in Mississauga? There are many areas, they are overcrowded, they are densely populated, and it's very difficult to cross during the peak hours in those special streets or areas. So what do you have for those problems?
And this is another challenge that we do have in the city of Mississauga. A lot of our street network was all set up in the 70s and 80s, when we essentially had half the population that we have now, and the GTA had less than half the population, and so we were a municipality that was really set up around the automobile, and between that and truck traffic, that was a significant part of what is now clogging up our roads. And that's why focusing on practical transit solutions, we have 16% transit ridership. To me, you will take whatever's easy or that makes sense for your lifestyle. And so coming up with more practical transit alternatives right now, that is certainly significant for us. The downtown loop that we have for the light rapid transit, that makes a lot of sense. It allows us to grow properly and also build a proper downtown, because I think that's really one of the great opportunities we do have.
Right.
But getting people around is significant. We also have a bridge in Malton, which has been sitting around for far too long, and I know that shovels are starting to get in the ground now.
Right.
And so getting that built, but also having different transit options for everybody. And if it's the car that makes sense for you, then that's what you should take. If it's the bus, if it's a light rail option, if it's cycling, if it's using some sort of e-scooter or e-bicycle, you'll get around whatever makes sense. But the biggest part of that too, the other part that makes me look at things different than probably most people, is the fact that we have to do more with living and working in closer proximity. The days of us being a bedroom community where we get up in the morning and then we leave to go to another municipality to work, why do we have to do that? We don't.
Right.
If we provide employment opportunities and more of them closer,
Right.
good quality employment opportunities, then that will also help alleviate some of the stresses that we're having on our roadways right now too.
So what do you have in your mind and in your agenda to make sure that the relationship between provincial and city are on a smoother side? Because sometimes this is a very big challenge for the mayors and the province, that they are not able to create the equations between each other. So what do you have for that, so that you can make sure that your relationship with the federal government and the provincial governments are equally important?
Well, I think the biggest part, and you touched on such an important piece, a really, really important piece, and that's the fact that whatever the government of the day is in Ontario or federally in Canada, you need somebody that's going to be able to work with both levels. And right now, we've got Premier Doug Ford is there. He keeps communicating that he'd like to work with municipalities. I would like to work with him. I'd like to work with our federal government. I hear that from our federal government. I'm in a unique position. I don't carry a party background that would be holding anything back. I work with everybody, whether you're a conservative, a liberal, an NDP, a Green Party, heck, any party or no party at all. That's who I want to work with. I just want to make sure that we get results for the city of Mississauga, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to provide excellent service and investment into the city, and that's what puts me in a great spot to be able to do it. But you're 100% right. It's being able to work on those relationships, because they need some work, and quite frankly, we're without a mayor. We need a mayor with leadership, and that has the ability to work with people.
So okay, so if you are comfortable to answer, who do you think is your direct competition between the other candidates at this time?
I don't know who would be a close second to me. You hear different.
That's interesting.
You hear different voices of people that are running, but this is the democratic process of where we are right now, and we've got, I think, 14 or 15 people seeking to be the next mayor of Mississauga. I know why I'm running. I truly care about our city. I know that I've got the skill set and the fresh approach with experience that'll be able to help come in, hit the ground running right off the bat. I know all the depth of the files, a lot of the issues that are at hand, the opportunities that I know are right in front of us right now, and quite frankly, who the people are at the different levels of government to work with. So for anybody else that's wishing to do so, I hope they're motivated by the same thing, and that's to help the city of Mississauga and work with everybody. We've got great councillors, and I want to be able to continue to work with my council colleagues, and quite frankly, everybody in the community. I've had over 500 community meetings alone in my ward. I love consulting with people. I love collaborating with people, and now I look forward to doing that throughout the city. It's not to delay anything, but it's just to make sure that we've got everybody's feedback. I'm here to represent you. And as I'm representing you, I think it's very important that I reach out and I talk to you and I find out what you want to see as well.
Stephen, thank you so much for your time. We will just have your closing remarks now, and just with why do you think people should vote you to be the next mayor of Mississauga, and anything special for our Punjabi listeners or Indian listeners?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. First of all, I will say thank you again for having me on the show. I am beyond blessed to be able to represent the city of Mississauga as the Ward 1 councillor. I'm seeking to be the mayor because I believe I have what it takes to guide us into the next chapter of our history. We have 50 years of history with us right now. We're at our 50th anniversary. The next 50 is the most exciting. I show up. I participate. I'm in our communities on a daily basis. I want to help. I want to represent. I want to promote. And I want to work and build those relationships for lifetimes, because whether I'm in political office or I'm not in political office, relationships matter. And quite frankly, we're at a point in our city's history where everybody matters and everybody needs that voice. And I know that some might say, well, as soon as I become mayor, I'll sit at City Hall. And no. From me, you don't get somebody that sits at City Hall. You get somebody that's in the community, that's out there each and every day, working hard. I roll up my sleeves as I do every day right now. And whether as a ward councillor, I pull over and I see garbage on the side of the road, I roll up my sleeves and pick up that garbage. Or I'm planning a beautiful new park. I take the same approach to everything. I represent each and every person to make sure that we're well represented, to drive that city forward, to make sure that we've got the world-class excellence that I know that we're capable of having. That includes everybody in the city. And not only that, we do festivals so well, whether it's the Bollywood Monster Mashup. I mean, you've got great festivals that we have.
Stephen, sometimes I feel jealous because we don't have anything similar as you guys have in Mississauga. So for especially the Square One area, and definitely I feel jealous sometimes.
Well, I'm sensing that. I know if I'm the mayor, we're going to do a lot more talking, and I'm going to end up convincing you to move to Mississauga.
That message could go to our mayor, Patrick Brown.
Yes, well, and nothing against Patrick. You know, Patrick's a friend of mine. Yes, but I will say it's some great positive competition, and I think that's also what drives and makes people excel. They have a little bit of a push at our backs. But we have a lot of great things happening. The Mosaic Festival as well. And some of these festivals, quite frankly, grew from just a few hundred people showing up to now we're having 30, 40, 50,000 people showing up for our festivals. And we need more of those locations to be able to have festivals and represent people from all over the world right here in Mississauga.
Perfect. Stephen, thank you so much, and all the very, very best for your campaign, and looking forward to talk to you again soon.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. So, friends, this was Mr. Stephen Dasko. He is running to be the next mayor of Mississauga, and this was our special segment, Political Pulse.